My name is Jordan Harrell. I'm a junior majoring in dance education with a K-12 licensure. I chose to study the effects of movement improvisation for college students. And as I began to research, I found that there were many benefits. So mental health has been a big problem around the world in recent years. It's gained so much awareness, and a lot of that is due to COVID-19. People locked down in their houses. Mental health became at the forefront of so many issues. And I wanted to see the stats. So the National Education Association did an article that found more than 60% of college students are eligible for at least one mental health struggle. This does not encapsulate all college students. These are just the ones that they surveyed, 60%. 44% of those had depression symptoms, and 37% reported symptoms of anxiety. So I wanted to determine the effects of movement improvisation on the mental health of college students. The definitions that I chose for the purposes of this study were movement improvisation is spontaneously created movement, and that was pulled from a textbook I'm reading right now for my dance education class. Spontaneously created movement, it can be anything in the present moment that you make up. So if I just rolled my head around, if I moved my hands in whatever way they wanted to move, that would all be considered improv. For mental health, I chose to use the definition, the state of someone's mind and psychological well-being, emotions, and behaviors from the APA, which is the American Psychological Association. The three aspects of mental health that I wanted to focus on for the purposes of this study that I felt could be measured with movement improvisation are stress, mood, and body tension. So my methods. This was a qualitative study. I gave participants a survey before and after each class that I chose to study over the course of the time. And it also includes embodied research. So for dance, any sort of research you do with dance that uses your body is considered embodied research. I had a total of 9 participants that completed all 4 sessions that I was studying. So I originally started with 17. Due to the attendance of class, that dropped to 9 for people who came to all 4 sessions and did all of the surveys. The ages of participants ranged from 18 to 23 years old, and the classes that I was studying included others enrolled in the class who were not participating in the study. And I also wanted to mention that I chose to not observe these classes. I didn't want me watching people to sway any answers. And so if it made people nervous or anything like that. And so I just chose to base my research off of the data that I collected. The sessions I chose to study, there were a total of 4 sessions over the course of 2 weeks, and they were each an hour and 20 minutes long. Each class was taught by our wonderful professor of dance, Miss Carol Finley. And there was a Google form that each participant filled out before and after each session. The first form asked about if they had any mental illness that they would like to report on. And from there, after that, for each session, I used a 0 to 5 Likert scale that measured their stress level, mood, and body soreness and body tension. My assumptions were that participants actively participated in the class each day, and that all of the movement they were doing was physically accessible to them. For my limitations, the mental health of participants each day. So as we know, our mental state changes on a day-to-day basis, and I cannot always guarantee if someone was a little more down or a little more extra peppy each day. The population, like I said, depended on the attendance in class. I went from 17 who were eagerly awaiting to participate in this study, and that quickly dropped to 9 by the end of all 4 sessions. And my delimitations, like I said, I chose to focus on a specific class that was offered here at Meredith, DAN 159. The movement improvisation class is a PE credit, so it includes those who are majors, non-majors, anybody who wants to participate and take class. So my results. For mental illness, the first question that I asked on the very first day, 33% did not report any mental illness. 55% reported having anxiety, 22 reported having depression, and others included ADHD, bipolar disorder, and an eating disorder. These percentages came from only the 9 who participated in all 4 studies. The scale of stress level, mood, and body, I found that stress levels decreased, mood increased, and body soreness and tension also decreased. So these graphs, for stress level, I have the results here. So let's get into these graphs. The number of participants over the 4 days, this only includes the 9 participants that completed all 4 days of the study. And I chose to combine their answers, and you can see that these are the survey scale 0 to 5. This is from all 4 days of the study. So as you can see, most people rated around 2, 3, 4 for stress level before class. And by the end, you can see that most people were only around a 1 or 2. For mood, again, these are only for the 9 participants, but it was over the course of all 4 days. Most people were around a 2 or a 3 before class, and by the end, most people were at a 4 or a 5 for their mood. And finally, body soreness. Most people before class were around a 2 or a 3, and as you can see by the end, most people were around 4 or 5. So what does this mean? How can you apply this to your classroom or anywhere else in your life if you're not going to be an educator? Teaching improvisation in colleges, as I found, can help decrease stress levels, increase mood, and decrease body soreness. Movement improvisation and movement improvisation classes specifically give students a safe space to move and express themselves. I remember when I took this class my freshman year, and it was so helpful to just give me a break from the day. I was able to just move however I wanted to move with no judgment, and I had guidance from teachers. But overall, we made a pretty tight community in those classes, and that was something that was really special and made everyone just feel welcomed and accepted to just do whatever movement they wanted to do. This has the potential for other school fields. So movement improvisation, when you think about things like freeze dance for elementary schoolers, that is a form of movement improvisation. You're just letting students move however they want to move. It also has the potential to, improv has the potential to be taught in elementary dance classes, middle school, high school dance classes, private dance studios. It's all super helpful and can be helpful for dancers and non-dancers alike. And it also is not just limited to dance classes. Movement breaks in classrooms, as well as just dancing around your house. All of these can be very beneficial for your mental health. These are my references that I chose to use for the purposes of this presentation. Thank you so much.